Yes, yes, yes. I don't know why it's I don't know why it's so dark. We've got the like super bright light on. So hopefully it's good on your end and you are able to see me and all of the things and all of the ways. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. We haven't been live in forever, so we're gonna we're gonna see if anyone joins us, but we're just gonna get right into it because this isn't gonna be a super long one. I don't feel like it's gonna be so long, but we'll see how this goes. Anyways, if you haven't been with me before, what's up? I'm Nikka, you know all of the things. If you are here and you're here live, make sure you say hello, pop into the chat, all that good shit, yeah? Okay, we're dropping into a battleground of body and soul. So this is actually part 3. We wrote a couple posts over the past few days, and this is one of the things, battleground, right, between body and soul. Like in and of itself, it's something that I've played with for a really long time. And if you've been with me a while, if you've been in my world a while, then you know a lot of childhood medical health things and trauma and lots and lots and lots of stuff. And I spent most of my, childhood, adolescence into adulthood, into at least until my 20s, where I really felt like subconsciously, somewhat consciously, it felt like my body was trying to kill me. It felt like it was punishment from God being sent down here. When I was a little kid, I used to ask God, like, okay, like this shit's crazy. Like, can I please come home? Like, this is too much. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be here. Please let me come home. And as I really dropped into a deeper practice with myself, with my art, with my magic, and all the things, there was this like, holy shit, like, what if my body, like, what if? What if, right? My body was not actually trying to kill me, but instead was trying to keep me alive. So during childhood, I was in anaphylaxis, like a lot of times, like over 100 times. And like allergies, all of the, allergic reactions to all of the things. And it felt like, oh shit, like no, like my body is really trying to kill the soul of me, the truth of me. And so there began, there began the battle, right? And as I got older and as I dropped deeper into my practice and as I developed and cultivated a deeper connection with my body as a temple, my body as something that was here to not constrain or constrict or trap soul, right? That which I knew that I was, but rather the temple for the human physical expression and experience of that which I am. There was that aha, there was like, oh shit, like what if this isn't, what if it's not that my body's trying to kill me? What if it actually is that my body has been trying to keep me alive? So in all of the allergic reactions and through all of the bouts of anaphylaxis, through all of the things and seizures and all of the things throughout childhood, what if my body was actually like the reactions of my body, which, right, like when you go into severe, life-threatening things like anaphylaxis, your body is overwhelmed and overloaded and is trying to keep you alive. It's trying, but it's like sending out all of the things to try to keep you alive, not to try to kill you, right? And so when I began to have this shift, there was a shifting in my experience of being quote unquote down here, right? Of being on this whole human experience. And speaking of allergies, we need water, which we always need water, right? We being this way. We being this way, right? And so there was a shifting in the experience and the relationship and the connection, right? Of, okay, so we're on this whole human fucking physical experience, right? The journey. And if our body is actually doing their damnedest to keep us alive, and sometimes there is an overreactivity, and sometimes there is, we're into the fucking danger zone. What does that look like when we are cultivating a deeper desire to actually fully experience ourselves down here, rather than just like get through this until we can go back into the non-physical, right? Rather than just like, okay, we're here. What does it look like to actually choose, to consciously choose as an adult, to consciously choose, like, okay, we're here and we're actually going to be fully alive, not just we're here and we're just going to like kind of like stumble through this thing and have this place where we feel like we are in a constant fighting, a constant battle with between body and soul. Like, what would it be like to actually step into a space where we cultivated such deep like I don't mean this in like, oh, self-love, like self-love is amazing, right? Like we all love self-love, right? And I'm not talking about that, but I mean to cultivate such deep love, such deep, like, holy fuck, like I fucking love you. What would that relationship be like between body and soul? And what would it also be like if you were to remember that there was actually no difference between body and soul? Like if you were to remember that you were simply an expression of the Most High, that you were an expression of creation itself, that between you, you as body, you as soul, you were all, everything that you are was simply an expression of the one and the same. What would begin to shift for you in how you experience yourself? What would it begin to shift for you in the ways that you experience your art and your magic and the madness that was born between your thighs? What would it begin to shift for you? What would you begin to say yes to? What would you begin to allow each day to be for if it was no longer about like, okay, well, I've got to sacrifice. Soul has to sacrifice in order to be inside this body, or the body has to sacrifice in order to be the fullest expression of soul, right? So if you've been in a state where you're like, okay, I feel the calling of soul, right? You feel this all dropping in, right? Where you're in, if you've ever been in those moments, you've ever been in the state where you're like, okay, I can feel the calling of soul. I can feel the thing. I can feel the magic. I can feel that which I'm being awakened into and I'm revealing unto and within and as myself. But holy shit, it doesn't feel like my body can hold it. It doesn't feel like my body can handle it. It doesn't feel like my body is going to be able to sustain that which I am being called into, that which I am in essence calling myself into. And so then again, we go back into that battle like, oh shit, I can either take care of my body, my nervous system, I can either take care of my health, or I can say yes to the thing that soul is calling me into, right? Does this make sense? Have you been there? Type it into the comments, whether you're here live, whether you're watching later and all of the things, yeah? Have you been there? Where it felt like you had to make a decision, where you felt like you had to make a choice between what your body, what you believed through physical like evidence of the past, right? Where you had to make a choice between what you felt like your body could sustain and hold, or what you felt like you were being called into by soul, right? And if you've been in that space, very often, especially if there is some trauma residue, especially if we are living into some systemic evidence, right, that we've shown ourselves, that we've been shown over and over again, we will very often choose to take care of our body, because when we are living in physical form, we can feel like that is the thing that is right in front of our face, right? Like this is the immediate thing that we need to take care of. Soul will wait. Soul can wait. We will get back to whatever it is that soul is asking of us, that which we are asking of ourselves, because that which we are is soul, and soul is God, and soul, right? Soul is everything, and yes, and yes, and yes. As consciousness, we're like, we'll put that thing off. That thing can wait. Let me tend to the body, because the body is what feels like it is urgent. The body is what feels like it is the emergency sometimes, right? The body is what feels like, oh, this is the thing that is right in front of my face. God, what is that movie? Oh my God, Any Given Sunday. Have you seen Any Given Sunday? Do you remember this movie? Any Given Sunday. Al Pacino gave one of the best speeches, right? About the 6 inches in front of your face. I've written about this before. One of the best lines, right? But he's talking about the 6 inches in front of your face, and who is gonna go, like who with you, right? He was talking about teammates, right? But like the people in your life, and I'm talking about you and soul, right? You as soul. Who with you is actually gonna go those 6 inches? Who with you is gonna go the 6 inches in front of your face, which is what you can deal with, what we can handle, right? Rather than trying to see the entire field, rather than trying to see the entire universe, the 6 inches in front of our face, who's going to be with you? But also, if we are only looking at the 6 inches, and that is all we are, and it feels like the 6 inches is all there ever is, and it feels like we have to take care of the 6 inches, and it feels like we have to handle that, and it always feels really pressing and urgent, and we lose awareness of what is beyond the 6 inches. We lose awareness of what else exists besides the 6 inches, then we will constantly be trying to put out the fire of the 6 inches in front of our face. And so sometimes we need to give ourselves a little bit of breathing room. Sometimes we've got to give ourselves that breathing room to be able to remember the connection between body and soul, to remember that there was never any separation between body and soul in the first place. Because if we are only ever trying to put out the fires that are the 6 inches in front of our face, then we will almost always choose the physical. We will almost always live into the limitations, our perceived limitations of the physical, that which we believe we can experience because of our past, because of traumas, because of what we've been through, because of what we've been told, because of what we've encoded around, imprinted around, etc., etc. Amen, right? If we are only seeing the 6 inches in front of our face and we are believing, right? I'm not saying don't handle the fucking 6 inches in front of your face. I'm not saying see who's going to go the line with you. What I'm saying is if that is all we are ever looking at and seeing, we will almost certainly stay in that battleground between body and soul, because we are going to almost always choose the physical. If it feels like we are constantly needing to put out the fires of the 6 inches in front of our face, how are we ever going to fucking live into the vision of the majesty that we see inside, that we hold inside? However, how will we ever live into the medicine that we know is us? How will we live into it if we are constantly trying to put out the fires of the 6 inches? Does this make sense? Because if we're constantly trying to put out the fire, and if we are only seeing into the urgency, and we're saying, this is the thing that's right here, oh my God, I have to, we will live into, and we will choose to live into, okay, what do I think my body can handle? And if what we feel, sorry if I just hit the mic, if we feel like what soul is asking us is beyond those 6 inches, which of course it is, because soul is asking us to step back into our everything, to open our thighs and free fall back into that which we always and ever were, not just the 6 inches in front of our face. Soul is like, okay, cool, the 6 inches, cool, 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 and then here's the everything, right? And the no thingness. Soul is like, here is it all, right? And none of it. Yeah, soul is everything and the nothingness, yes? And if we are like, holy shit, but I don't even know how I can handle the 6 inches in front of my face, we will almost certainly choose to live into and to continue to live into that perceived separation between body and soul, because we're like, okay, this is what I can handle in the instantaneous now. And we are going to feel like soul is asking for so much that we're not going to be able to handle. And so we will continue living into body, and we will continue living into the physical, and we will continue choosing what we feel we can handle based upon the experience and the evidence that we have shown ourselves and that we have been shown in the physical realm first and foremost, and sometimes only and ever. Does this make sense? And so if we are, anytime I ask, does this make sense? Feel free, type away, whether you're here live or later, type it away. I will continue talking, but does this make sense? Is this landing? And sense, do you feel this? Is this dropping into your body? Where you felt like you've had to make the decision, where it's felt like you've had to make the choosing between what you felt like you could handle in the immediate moment versus what you know you're being called into on a soul level, on a God level, right? Mm-hmm. What else? So when we are desiring to dissolve the battleground, when we are desiring to live into a space of deeper connection and a deeper space of knowing, we get to remember that, okay, one, there is no spoon, right? Like the Matrix, there is no spoon. There is no separation between body and soul. There is only that which we perceive to be the separation, right? Between ourselves and that which is the absolute God, creator, great mystery, yes? Because what is soul other than that which is, yes? And what are we other than expressions of that which is, the capital is, the I am, yes? And if we're believing that body is somehow separate, if we're believing that the physical is separate from the I am, then we will continue to believe that we have to choose. And so when we come into the moments where we're like, holy fuck, I'm ready to come back into the merge. I'm ready to come back into the merge, beyond the integration, to come back into the merge, into the remembrance, into the revelation that there was never any separation in the first place. And I'm ready to live from that beingness, from that state of consciousness. We get to hold that energetic state within ourselves as physical form. So we get to hold the energetic vastness and limitlessness of that which we are, the timelessness of that which we are, who we are, that which we are, beyond the temporal experience of ourselves in human form. We get to hold that, say yes to that, surrender to that in our bodies, yes? And so that which we are, the experience, the expression, the limitlessness, we get to experience that. We get to consciously choose into that in our bodies, to experience limitlessness in ourselves as this physical form. Does this make sense? And so when we're in the practicing, we can do this through many things. We can do this through journaling. We can go on a hike. We can swim. We can surf. We can run. We can fuck. We can did I say journal? All about the journaling. We can sex magic. We can do all of the things. Yes, we can simply sit in the stillness of the breath of the pranayama. We can sit into it and be okay, and this is it. right? And we can choose, we can consciously choose through whatever practice, through whatever liberatory practices that we experience and hold within ourselves. We choose to experience ourselves as limitlessness. We choose to experience ourselves beyond the confines of what we have told ourselves, beyond what we have been told we are limited to because we are in human form. We can choose to not, okay, I have to seek out myself in the full dissolution of human form. I have to wait until I am complete formlessness to once again experience myself as the I am, to once again remember myself as the I am. I have to wait until that one day. No, no, no. We choose it as the now. We choose that as the now. We choose to time collapse. We choose to space collapse and allow ourselves to experience ourselves as the vastness, as the limitlessness, as full unbridled consciousness in this moment, and we get to choose it as we are in this physical form, and we get to dissolve what we have perceived to be the separation between body and soul, and within that choosing and the dissolving in the dissolving between what we have seen to say, okay, here is body and here is soul, and never the two shall meet. As we are in the practice of experiencing ourselves as the I am while we are alive in human form, we are always alive, but while we are alive in human form, we get to experience ourselves beyond the temporal realities and the limitations, the limiters that we have placed upon ourselves, that we have been told are placed upon us in human form, and we get to experience ourselves as that which we are. But we get to experience ourselves as the truth of ourselves right here and right now, not once the body is dissolved and laid down to ground, but right here and right now. No longer waiting until, okay, once we've passed through this human realm, that's when I will get to remember, that's when I will get to reveal, that's when I will get to experience myself as the I am. No, 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 I experience it now. I choose to experience it now. And if you're like, but where do I begin? One, do you want it? Do you want it? Do you want to experience yourself as limitlessness? Do you want to experience yourself as that which you are? Do you want to experience yourself as that which is? And then within that, and within that energy, within that state, allow all of your choices, all of your decisions, all of your actions, your entire life, your full experiencing to be born from that truth. Do you want it? And if you do, then that's where you begin. You begin by dropping into this, oh, fuck, I want this. And then noticing what you have on the wanting, noticing all of the voices and the thoughts and the blames and the shame and the guilt that arises, the things that tell you that it is unsafe, that it is too dangerous for you to want, for you to even want. Notice all of the things, all of the teachings that you've experienced, that you've gone through, all of it. Notice what tells you, like, oh, if you want, then that means that you're falling into, the weak aspects of the feminine, and you're falling into the human form, and this is sin, and this is all the things, and you shouldn't want anything. Notice all of it, right? And you get to come into a place where you're like, yeah, and fuck that shit, right? Like, fuck it all. Because I'm here to experience myself as the totality of that which I am, of that which I was, of that which I shall be. And I'm choosing to experience it right here, right now. And so that means I'm going to choose to experience it as I am in human form. Yes? And so we get to own our fucking desires. Yeah? I think I had a program one time called Own Your Desires. It was a long time ago. Years ago. But we get to choose and live into owning our desires. And within that choice, we get to then, okay, and we get to really, if you're desiring the clarity, like, okay, then what's the next step? Well, fucking ask. Okay, yeah, I fucking want this. Okay, all right, where do we go from here? Okay, I want this. And where do we go? What is it? What do I need to see? What am I being shown? What do I need to show myself? What is it? I want this. I fucking want this. Yeah? And in that owning of that, like, fuck yeah, this is what I want. Within that, we're going to start to experience the clarity of our next steps. And when I say we drop into the practice of the sex magic, of the hike, of the surfing, of the running, of whatever it is, of the journaling, allowing ourselves to come back into the breath, to come back into our movement, and that practice continues to open us. It continues to crack us open, soul wide open. We continue to be able to wring out our soul, to pour, drip our nectar, our magic, our madness onto the pages of our world. We continue through the practice, the choosing, we continue to embody and evoke from the state of statelessness, to evoke from the state of timelessness, of limitlessness, of that which is like the fullness, the complete everythingness, and the no-thingness. Yes, we continue to choose, and we begin to cultivate life from that that state, from that energetic state, and from that choosing. And so the actions that we take are born from that state. Our come from is the state of limitlessness. Our come from is the state of soul. Our come from within our physical body is the formlessness, right? So our come from, when we take action and when we live into and what we experience in form, our come from is the state of formlessness in and of itself. But we don't have to wait for someday, off in the vast neverland in the distance in order to experience the truth of that, in order to experience ourselves as formlessness. We choose it now. We choose it now, and we choose to evoke it and to embody it within the form that we are in. And within that, we get to choose the merge. We get to choose the re-merging, the reawakening, and the revelation of the merge to ourselves, of body and soul, that there was never any separation in the first place. And every single day, we get to choose, and we get to live in, and we get to own, oh, this is what I fucking want. Fuck, this is what I want. And we get to be in the practice every day. We get to be in the practice of the merge. Every day we get to be in the practice of the merge. And so then when we're like, oh shit, I don't know, I'm doubting, I don't know if this is the right action. Oh, when we're living into the physical form, right? And we're not just living into the 6 inches in front of our face. Oh fuck, this is urgent, this is an emergency. Oh my God. And I'm not saying don't handle your shit. Handle your shit, whatever the fuck, right? Handle your fucking shit. And also, when we are in the practice, more and more, deeper and deeper, raw, wilder, deeper into the practice, yes, the practice of that state of energetic ecstasy, the state of devotional ecstasy, living into the I am as ourselves, as that which we are, and we experience ourselves as the I am more and more, deeper and deeper in physical form. The actions that we take, so regardless of the 6 inches, yes, handle your fucking business, all of the things, and also we see the entire field, we see the entire game, we see the entire championship, we see the entire fucking universe unfolding in the blink of an eye, and the inhale and the exhale of this breath, and we are choosing and we are taking action from, and we then continue to experience evidence from the realms of that which are beyond the physical, that which where physical and the temporal has already fucking quantum collapsed back into itself, back into formlessness, is already dissolved, and the identity that we choose to live into is the identity of that which is seen, that which is known, and that which is never forgotten in the fucking first place. And now we get to experience and merge back with that, so that our actions, our beingness, and the evidence in the physical that we begin to show ourselves and provide ourselves are born from that vastness, are born from that limitlessness, are born from the fucking formlessness, even while we are in form. Yes, this is the merge, this is the return, this is the yes, this is the collapse, this is the surrender, this is the holy fuck, everything that I'm desiring and I see and hold inside of me on a soul level that I haven't thought that I could handle on a physical. This is the merge, this is the fuck yes. Oh, this is where we return to it. This is where I say yes to it, and this is where I allow it, even when my past physical evidence has shown me that I couldn't handle it, that my body was going to be overloaded, that my nervous system was going to fucking blow out, that I couldn't. I am now giving myself evidence from the beyond, from the underworld of soul. I am giving myself evidence. I am providing myself evidence. I am providing that I am evidence. I myself am evidence, and I am giving that to myself as I am in a human form, as I am in physical form, as I am experiencing myself as soul with this body, as the expression of soul, as the expression of the I am, of the expression of the absolute. I am giving myself evidence. I am providing myself evidence that I can live into my desires in the here and the now, right the fuck now, without needing to wait for anything, and I can choose and I can continue to choose. Oh my God, it didn't work, cool, but what do you continue to live into? What are you going to continue to choose? What are you going to continue to say yes to? Because you know that it is a thing. You know that it is the fucking thing. You know that it is the fucking thing. Yes? Let me tell you something. Before we got onto this live stream, I was fucking like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted, so excited. But I was like, okay, it's time. Fucking pussy preacher needs to come through. This shit needs to come through. It fucking needs to come through. My body was like, oh man, we don't have it. We're so Kafic right now. Like, we can't. Oh, and it was like, oh shit, okay. And it's time. And then it's like, oh, it's time. Yeah? And so you are, oh, that saying, oh, you're capable of so much more than you think you are. Like, but yeah, you are, right? You fucking are. But even beyond that, you get to remember that who you actually are is limitlessness. Who you actually are is limitless. So you and your body, okay, cool. This is, like my fucking wingspan, my arm reach, right? This is my height. Yeah, cool. But if I'm believing that this is what I am, that this human form is what I actually am, rather than this simply is a manifest, this is simply a form being made manifest by God, by the Most High, and I believe that the body is all that I am, I will continue to live into a temporal, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, existential crisis of time is running out. Oh my God, I have to, oh my God, the 6 inches in front of my face, this is all I can handle, because I'm believing that that is all I am, that is all I am capable of, that is my limit. But when I begin to remember, like, oh fuck, this is simply an expression of that which I am, that which I am is fucking God. That which I am is fucking limitless. That which I am is the Most High. That which I am is the never ending. That which I am is the absolute. If God, creation, creator, source, great mystery, is omnipresent, is omnipotent, oh my God, omnipotent, oh shit, what's the word? Oh boy, omnipotent. One of those words, yeah? But is everything, sees all, knows all, is all, right? Then how could I be why would I be like the one thing that was not that which is? Why would I be the one thing that was not a part of the fucking thread of the Most High, right? Why would I be the one thing that was not an expression of that which is the absolute, right? That which is infinity. Okay, so then if I am that which I am, which you are, then this body is simply an expression of that which is fucking eternal. And so if I remember myself as the eternal, on human form, right? Or on a human journeying, on an earth journeying in human form, but I remember that which I am, then I get to experience this human form. I get to experience my body as an expression, of everything, of no thingness. I get to be in the non-attachment, and I get to experience it fully. This is not a detachment. This is not an apathy towards the body. This is a full I am fucking here, and I'm gonna use and take and be in this experience for every fucking thing that it's got. I am gonna wring out my entire damn soul on this earth journey, on this physical form, human experience. And yes, I am here. And I'm gonna remember that the human form is not the totality of me. It is not my identity. It is an expression of the I am, right? And I get to choose. And okay, so I'm here. So I have these desires. Okay, cool. I'm going to own my desires. And then I'm going to allow myself as the everything, as the absolute, to experience my desires, to experience the callings of that which I am through this human form. And I get to remember the merge. And I get to experience myself as the merge. And I get to say yes. And I get to fucking surrender back into that which I always was. Yes? As do you. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Any questions? Oh my God, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to play. We haven't been here in forever. I legit do not think I've been done anything on YouTube. Hello, is it Ajay? Amazing, I'm so glad. Thank you, love. I don't think I've been on YouTube in like 5 months. I'm gonna say we're back, but you know, we're back. We're back in whatever that means for the YouTube. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for being here. Okay. No questions? All right, Mellows. So, all right. If you want to come play, if you want to go deeper, you know I'm holding a workshop, or maybe you don't. We're holding a workshop next week over Solstice. It's called Momentum, the winter edition. This is not cutesy shit. This is not cheerleader shit. Nothing wrong with that. If you've ever worked with me, you know I'm not a cheerleader type of a mentor or a guide. We want the raw, the wet, the wriggling, the erotic, the deep, right? This is deep soul shit. And we're working with grief as medicine. We're working with the body as medicine. We're working with the temporal as medicine. We're working with that which needs to die to soul, allowing it to die to soul, so that we can say yes to the things that we know are here for us. Sometimes we're called into the next thing with soul, the next thing with our desires, the next thing with the expression, and we're like, holy fuck, but here's what's happening with my body though. Here's what's happening with my health, with my family, with my lover, with my friends, with my business, with who the fuck knows, right? With the fucking world around me, right? And we're like, okay, yeah, and soul is incessant, like, cool, I get it. And we're also called to the thing. It's also time to say yes to the thing. It's like, it's here and it's now. And we're like, but how, right? We're in the winter. How do we experience momentum when it feels like the season that we're in is legit winter, right? That's what this workshop, this experience, this immersion is about. So it's going down on Solstice. Come play. Oh, fuck. I'll put the link into the description. But of course, my site's nikkakarli.com. If you go to nikkakarli.com slash the dash grounds, you can find it like just under work with me. Oh God, no, it's not there. I haven't made a sales page for it yet, but there is some posts about it in the blog. So under writings, right? If you go in, you'll see momentum is open, but I will also put a link down in the description, right? So come play, come join us. If you want momentum and you want it in a way, like even when it feels like the world is fucking burning, but you know soul is calling you into the next evolution of that which you are, the message, the madness, the medicine, that's what this workshop is, yeah? Okay. Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions. You can always DM me on Insta, text me, all the fucking things, okay? I love you. Oh my God, it feels so good. I'm so glad to be back and to hang out with you guys again, yeah? Okay, I love you, as always. Here's to your untaming. Bye, wild ones. Now we just have to remember how the fuck we end. How do we end? How do we end the YouTube live? Is it the X? Let's see. Yes.